Hey friends, I just want to introduce you to a book I wrote, The Pathless Path, Imagining a New Story for Work and Life. The motivating factor for writing this book was hundreds of conversations I had with people from 2017 to 2020. And there were conversations about people's relationship to work. People were afraid to have these conversations out in public, but were telling me some pretty profound things. They were in lives they didn't want. They didn't know how to create something different. They were so scared of things that were uncertain and out of their control. Yet, they lacked a different story, a different alternative, something that was easy and obvious to go towards. We have these ideas of quit your job and be rich, but it's not really the full story. So I wanted to share mine. My story is a story of walking away from everything I thought I wanted in college. A high-paid six-figure job, working in New York City with strategy consultants and CEOs and boards, and having basically all my financial problems solved. Only if I stayed on that path. Yet, I walked away. I didn't reach any sort of financial freedom number or early retirement. I just knew that my current path wasn't quite working for me anymore. So I walked away. And I experienced a jolt of reality. I thought I would just go from strategy consultant, full-time worker to strategy consultant, freelance worker. Wasn't quite that simple. It was like I had entered a whole new world. And what was really emerging was a new chapter of my life. And it was scary, uncertain, and it felt really weird. When you're on a path that's seen as successful, no one asks you, why are you doing this? As soon as I stepped away from a path like that, though, everyone asked, why are you doing this? Aren't you scared about the future? Don't you want these things? What if you have kids? The thing was, I didn't have any answers. And my first response was to kind of shy away from those questions. I did get defensive and I tried to tell people what I was doing. But the truth was, I was on a new journey that I couldn't quite explain. And this is what I talk about in my book. I try to explore what it feels like on a journey that doesn't quite make sense. I left a path that makes sense to go on one that doesn't make sense to anyone else. And that's the secret of unconventional paths, that they can probably never be explained to anyone else. Yet, there is a path and a way of relating to work that can lead to a much deeper sense of satisfaction and fulfillment in life. And this is what I found. I left my job thinking I want to escape work. I don't want to work anymore. I just want to work less. I thought that was what I wanted. It's not true. I've been to these beaches all around the world where some people actually have done that. They've hit their financially independent retire early number and they don't have to work, at least mathematically. However, the human spirit wants to be useful. They want to matter. They want to connect to people. They want to be part of the world. And that's what I discovered. As I took breaks from paid work or formal work in my new journey, I discovered things kept showing up. The desire to create, do things that don't quite make sense, podcast, write, things that didn't quite make money or lead to any sort of legible outcome or path. But I had this sense that it mattered. And this is something I talk about in my book, and I call the real work of your life. Find the things that you want to commit to and want to keep doing. Because once you find those things, there's value in them in and of themselves. And that energy can be powerful. And it's the kind of energy that can sustain you on an uncertain journey that you can't quite explain to other people. Anyway, if any of that sounds interesting to you, definitely recommend checking out the book. I had a ton of fun writing it, and I'm excited to share it with as many people as possible.